New chapter gets added tonight between the Dodgers and the Padres, and joining us now, someone who has been right in the middle of rivalry games like these, the former voice of your San Diego Padres, Mr. Bob Chandler. Bob, good morning.
Good morning.
How about that, huh? It could have done damage, that little ball dribbling towards the dugout.
Well, I think what Manny was really upset about was the 90-plus mile-an-hour fastball that Jack Flaherty threw that hit Fernando Tatis in the leg after Tatis had homered and doubled against him.
How about that?
And now Flaherty will never admit he threw it on purpose, because if he did, he'd be suspended for a week.
Of course.
However, it was very suspicious.
Right? Old school baseball. Those of us who have been watching for a while, you know, you hit a home run, you hit a double against the guy, and then he plunks you.
Yeah.
There's intent behind that.
Well, I think so. You can back him up. That's all right. Pitch inside. That's part of the game.
Chin music?
But, yeah, well.
Okay.
I will say this for Flaherty. The pitch was below the waist, wasn't up near the head.
This is true. Let's move on, like Manny wants. Let's talk about another intense moment. When this has been going on for a while. Dodgers, Padres. It is a legitimate rivalry now because the Padres have kind of stepped up to compete, in essence, right? Tell me more about the history of that rivalry.
Well, I think that's exactly it, Raul. It would never be a real rivalry until the Padres became a threat to the Dodgers.
Yes.
Well, the Padres are a threat to the Dodgers now. They may even be a better team than the Dodgers right now. And that makes it fun, especially in San Diego.
A couple of years ago, I think they proved that point. The slaying of the dragon, as they like to say 2 years ago. But the dragon is back. It's kind of like Game of Thrones. There's like 3 dragons. I don't know. What was it like to be in the booth for games like this, where you knew there was just kind of, it was a baseball game, yes, but then there's that added element.
Yeah.
Like, I think everybody feels that going into tonight's game. There's that added element going into not just a regular playoff.
There's a little edge. There's a little edge to the game, yeah. No, I agree with that. No, it's more fun.
Yeah.
It's more fun. Now, what will be interesting to me to see whether or not, before the game tonight, the umpires warn the teams.
Yes.
You know, about throwing baseballs at each other.
Does this year feel different? There's a lot of talk about vibes and how it feels. Does this feel different than the last couple of years, than 22, than does it? What's the feeling you're getting?
Well, it feels different to me.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, it's always been a rivalry as far as the Padres are concerned.
Yes.
Not so much the Dodgers, but that was because the Padres were David and the Dodgers were Goliath. And so when we slew Goliath a couple of times, and it has happened, you know, it was a big deal. But now, the Padres have one heck of a team.
Yeah, man.
In my opinion, of the 8 teams left in the playoffs, 4 in the American, 4 in the National League, the Padres are the best of the 8. That doesn't mean they'll win it, because the best team doesn't always win.
Correct.
But they've got a great chance.
That's why they play the games. And
That's
listen,
right.
having you say that does carry a lot of weight. The last time we talked about that 1984 team and the late owner, Ray Kroc, of course, this year, with the passing of Peter Seidler, seems like they've been playing with that extra help, if you will. They've worn that patch, PS on it.
Yeah.
They've carried it with them into the dugouts, Dodger Stadium, and other places. How do you kind of put that into perspective? The players, they've all been kind of giving homage, if you will, to Peter and what he meant and what he wanted.
You know, just from a financial standpoint, there are a number of players on the Padres who Peter Seidler made wealthy millionaires for the rest of their life. When Peter died in November, last November, they had a little memorial at the stadium. Yeah. And I noticed, I'm not sure specifically how many players went by, but I know that Yu Darvish went by and paid his respects. Yeah. I believe our local pitcher, Joe Musgrove, went by, and maybe some others.
I want to talk to you about Jackson Merrill.
Yeah.
A kid who's on the Major League roster at the age of 20. He turns 21 a couple weeks after he made his Major League debut. He has played like he's been here before. The lights don't intimidate him. The big stages don't intimidate him. In all your years of watching baseball players, when you see a kid like this perform that, what does this kid have, and how special is he?
Well, he's got ability, and he's got mentally, he has what it takes. Just think about it, Raul. 3 years ago, he's playing a 15-game schedule for his high school in Baltimore, Maryland. Now, he had, in his second year of minor league baseball, which was last year, he got as high as AA, never played AAA. Yeah. And kudos to the Padre coaches and scouts who said, you know, this kid, we think, because of his bat, can play right now. But nobody saw he was going to be quite this good.
Yeah.
He's a phenom. I mean, when you're talking about accomplishing things that have been accomplished by Mickey Mantle, Ken Griffey Jr., I mean, it's not a bad thing to have your name in that group, right?
Yeah, those are some names. And I like how when he's been interviewed in those locker rooms when the champagne is flowing, his mind is set on a goal. You can tell he is focused. This isn't done. It reminds me of when Kobe Bryant used to say, you know, the job's not finished here. Jackson seems to know that very well for a young kid.
You know, when you're really good, I mean, you're not overwhelmed by stuff like this.
Right.
And to Merrill, it's fun. All this is fun. Playing in a tight game. Let's go back. He said, wasn't that game fun today?
Did he do enough, Bob, to get the Rookie of the Year? Because Paul Skeens is the other person they're saying that could get the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, you know, they both deserve it, really.
Yeah,
Paul Skeens.
That's true.
Is a terrific pitcher, has a great future.
Unbelievable.
But he had a chance to help the Pirates win 22 times during the year. Merrill, over 150 times.
Well said.
I think Merrill should be the Rookie of the Year.
You wrote 2 books on the Padres and our history. Hold those things up. I mean, these are great. Any Padres fan that hasn't read these things needs to look at that. Know that guy. Tell me about these.
Well, this is Tatis and Machado.
Yes, sir.
This was really an update of the original book.
Yeah.
But it's just a compilation of stories that I've lived through with the Padres, going back to when they began in San Diego in 1969. And by the way, one of the great stories, talk about the rivalry. In late 1969, the Dodgers were battling 2 other teams for the National League West title. And when they came to San Diego, it was in September, and they brought the entourage down, the families. They were going to beat up on the poor Padres. They had beaten the Padres 19-0 in a game earlier that year. It was an expansion team. And the Padres swept a 4-game series from the Dodgers that knocked them out of the playoffs.
Taking you back with that great story from 1969. Bob Chandler, always a pleasure, sir.